Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for coming again and for joining in the virtual AFBF festival. Been so lucky to have so many good guests so far. We were just joined by the guys from Infinite Sessions. That was really good. If you missed that or anything from the weekend, everything's up on the YouTube page to watch again. And now I'm really delighted to be joined by Steve, the brewer, and Becky, the founder of Nirvana Brewery. So hi guys.
Hi. Hello.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's been a wonderful weekend so far, and yeah, it's great to have you guys.
Great to be here. Thank you.
The first UK non-alcoholic brewery, is that right?
Yeah. So before the sort of alcohol-free beer thing took off, we were one of the first on the scene back in 2016, and we're still the only alcohol-free brand, I think, in the UK that have actually got our own brewing premises, our own brewery.
Amazing. So really setting the bar. That's so good. Well, before we get into a little bit about the background and hear your story, should we open the beer and let everyone at home? I think everyone at home should have the hoppy pale ale. So yeah, I think we're all drinking that today. And we can talk a little bit about the beer as well in a bit. Be good to hear Steve's opinions on the beer as well. So yeah, so do you want to tell us, Becky, a little bit about the background of Nirvana, how you got to where you are today, and where it started?
Sure. So as I said, it was about 2016 when we first started. We actually launched our first beers in 2017. So the original reason that we started was because me and my brother wanted to find an alcohol-free beer for our dad. So he was he had to give up drinking a while ago, and we've all been really big craft beer fans, and one of the things we love to do as a family is all get together and sort of share different craft beers from different breweries and things like that.
Yeah.
With the craft beer scene really taking off, like, it was quite a nice bonding thing for the family. And when my dad gave up drinking, we sort of tried to find one for him that was alcohol free, and we just couldn't find anything that was like on par with the other craft beers that we were all drinking.
Yeah.
Lagers like Beck's Blue and Bavarian things, which weren't really his kind of beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Started from there, really. Like, we were on the hunt for nice beer. We actually started by going around Germany looking for some nice beers that we could bring back. And they had much better alcohol-free beers there than we did.
Yeah, that's so funny. The guys from Infinite were just had exactly the same story. When they started off, they went to Germany and they couldn't believe the quality.
Yeah, at the time they still are really like the pinnacle of alcohol-free beer in Germany. I mean, they do the best beers anyway, but for alcohol-free they really set the bar. So we went on a bit of a road trip, and then when we couldn't find we couldn't find the sort of beers that our dad liked, so that was kind of when we started to think about making our own. So we originally partnered with a brewery in Germany to make our lager, and then after that we met another guy also called Steve, but not this Steve, who was looking to start an alcohol-free brewery as well. So we joined forces with him, and created Nirvana, and we set it up in East London, which is where we still are today, in our unit in Leighton, just off Leabridge Road.
Yeah.
So we've got a microbrewery there, and where we make all of our.
So it started with the lager then.
Yeah. So originally we had the lager under a different brand, and then when we launched the brewery, we called it Nirvana Brewery, and we started making ales and things like that. We did a rebrand last year that brought our lager into the Nirvana range.
Yeah.
Nirvana lager, and then like a whole range of different pale ales, IPA, stout, and we even done a special kombucha beer.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I was talking to Laura Willoughby from Club Soda, and she said about her love of kombucha, and it reminded me of your beer. Yeah,
it's a bit wacky, a bit out there, but we like experimenting around with different things. And the thing about kombucha is that you get that fermentation flavour, I think, a lot that you don't get in a lot of other alcohol-free drinks.
Yeah.
It's been fermented still, but in a different way. So it's still got all those live cultures, and that kind of gives it a unique flavour and a unique taste profile that is quite similar to an alcoholic drink, but without the alcohol.
Yeah.
And we blended it with one of our pale ales, and it actually worked really well.
Nice.
So we brought it out as a summer special a couple of years ago, and it's kind of stuck around.
Yeah.
I think we're going to play around with some other styles soon, so it might we might have some other beers that take its place, but it's been really popular, surprisingly.
So let's talk a little bit about this one that we've got. If Steve, if you want to talk to us a little bit about the hoppy pale that we're drinking, and then maybe we could hear about the rest of the beers that you brew, and yeah, the timeline, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I guess the hoppy pale ale is trying to be similar to a session IPA that you normally find on the market. So quite inobtrusive malt body, simple malt bill really, and just let the hops do the talking really. So with this one, yeah, I think you find it's quite nice and light golden colour. Yeah. And we're, to be fair, with most of our beers, we're just trying to source the freshest, the best US hops we can get.
Okay.
I mean, it's no secret that they are the best or among the best. So with this one, yeah, it's about sort of making sure that they're front and center of the beer, and they're the notes that you're picking up when you first sort of smell and taste it. So with this one, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, I think with this one in particular, it's sort of a lychee flavour that I get from the hops on the first sip, and it sort of develops into mango, yeah, and to other sort of tropical fruits as well. But yeah, it's about the sort of lightness of the malt that we're trying to go for with this one, as opposed to our classic IPA where it's a slightly more robust golden sort of golden body on it.
What other beers are you brewing now? Becky mentioned a few, but so you've got, what else?
Yeah, there's a classic IPA. So again, we're focusing heavily on US hops, but trying to balance it with a stronger malt body. So that's trying to ape a style of an IPA that's more sort of high fives, low 6 ABV. Obviously, still 0.5%. So it's a bit of a challenge, but it's a bit of a different thing in the range, and it's more balanced in that sense that you're getting more malt flavour coming up front. The other that's been actually very popular, considering, is the organic pale ale that we have as well. So we're using sort of finest Warminster floor maltings for that organic first gold as well. So it's got a really sort of great sort of British high quality organic ingredients.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say we got our organic accreditation last year. It was a nice thing to add to our range, because obviously a lot of people were sort of, turning to organic stuff now. So it was quite a nice way to branch out, but it's actually become one of our most popular styles.
Oh, wow.
Because like Steve said, the quality of the hops and things that we're using local grown British hops.
Yeah.
I just think it really adds something to the beer, and actually it's become a really popular product in our range.
Oh, fantastic! And do you have a darker one as well? Do you do a stout as well?
Yeah,
that's right.
We do a stout. So the stout is a 0.0%. So it's quite a unique process that we use, and it does give it a slight sweetness because there's basically been very little fermentation, or no fermentation basically, because we don't use a yeast. Okay. So you do get much more sweetness from the malt. And in a stout, it works quite well because you're used to having that kind of rich, robust sweetness in a stout. And so even though it's still very light because it doesn't have the alcohol, it still has that kind of rich, indulgent flavour that you would want from the stout.
Brilliant, yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you got the premises there as well. So you're brewing on site. Somebody said that they went and visited the brewery and you had an open day. What was... That is such an amazing thing to be able to offer people, like personally coming from a sort of real ale background to then not drinking anymore. Like that would be so good to come and visit a brewery.
A lot of the time, you kind of, it's really nice to do brewery tours, and if you've stopped drinking or you're trying to give up, and you don't really want to miss out on that.
No,
so it's quite nice to be able to let people come into the brewery and have a brewery tour
It's amazing. I can't. It blows my mind that you can offer a non-alcoholic brewery tour and sit down and have beers afterwards. That's so good. Is that something that you did regularly?
So we did one for Sober October last year. We've done a few open days in the past where we've opened up the tap room at the weekend, or we also run some yoga classes.
Okay.
In the brewery, and that was quite nice. Like, people come in, we do a yoga class, and then we do a beer tasting at the end with some like homemade snacks and stuff. And that was a really nice thing as well. We're quite tucked away on the industrial estate, so it's not the easiest place to get to. But if people make the journey out there, like, you can always drive and don't need to worry about
that's what I love the most about going to breweries. You get to go to industrial estates for an afternoon.
You see the dark underbelly. Yeah.
We're also on the estate as Square Root Soda, if you know them, the Hackney Soda. Soda. So we're sort of thinking about teaming up for a bit of an alcohol-free drinks crawl.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, that'd be great. The other thing I was going to ask you, so you said about the rebranding. I was also going to ask about the name. I love the name. And where did it come from? Like, what's the inspiration?
So the inspiration there is sort of, we're about, for us, drinking alcohol free is not about a necessity. So before, a lot of people would drink alcohol free because they had to, because they were driving, or because of a health condition, or being pregnant or something like that, and it was viewed quite negatively.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, and especially for my dad, being alcohol free has been really positive.
Yeah.
A really positive change in his life. And so for us, the name Nirvana is about kind of finding your own happy place, really, like finding your own Nirvana.
Yeah.
And kind of living your best life and enjoying sort of the beer as a good beer, and kind of like living your way, and whether you want to drink alcohol or not, you can still enjoy good beer.
Yeah,
so that's
definitely
the inspiration behind the name.
Yeah, really, yes, it's definitely a very positive name, positive outlet. And I think that's represented in the branding as well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so on our bottle, we've kind of got this funky pattern which brings all the elements of a beer together. So we've got the water, the hops, the sunshine, and it's basically about bringing together that kind of the qualities of a good beer, but also the sort of enjoyment of life. Okay. And it's kind of, this pattern is on our bottles, kind of represents like a bit of an explosion of joy, or like a burst of joy, It's just enjoying yourself, whether you're drinking or not, because we don't preach sobriety. Like, we're fully supportive of people who are sober, but we also like to just be there for people who maybe want a night off drinking, or they just want to drink an alcohol-free beer, in the middle of drinking other beers throughout the night. So we kind of, it's just supposed to be a positive choice, and the branding represents that kind of enjoyment of beer.
Yeah, like that. Definitely. I had, I think before the new branding, I had your Karma bottle on my windowsill, like as a flower pot, and it was like, it's just a nice positive symbol. And like,
all our bottles are bright colors as well, and it kind of is that same sort of feeling of like brightness and positivity. It's like, it's just supposed to be a bit of fun.
Yeah. Where can people find your beers? Like, where are you? So where can you get them from? So
mostly independent bottle shops, restaurants and pubs, and mostly around London, especially because that's our local area. Obviously now you can't get it from the pub, but our online shop has been open for a long time. It's been doing really well, obviously, since the lockdown. Most people are getting stuff online. So online is the best place to get the whole range. You can also get it from Wise Bartender, and one of our beers, our lager, is on Ocado as well.
Oh, nice. That's good.
They can get our lager.
What about, obviously not anymore, but you started sort of putting out kegs, didn't you, as well?
Yeah.
How did that go? What was the sort of uptake of that?
Really good, actually. Like, I think as more people start to realise that alcohol-free beers can actually taste good and can be fun and interesting, more pubs are now starting to be willing to take stuff on tap. And especially in January, we saw quite a few pubs take this hoppy pale ale on tap, and some of the pubs said that it outsold all their other beers on tap.
Oh wow!
During the month of January, so
amazing.
Yeah, I think it just makes such a difference being able to have a pint. I don't know, it's something I really missed throughout lockdown, is that you can buy loads of nice beers in bottle and can, but there's something about having a pint.
Yeah,
just it's like really nice. So
yeah, definitely. I think even like you say, even sort of getting a bottle or a can and pouring it out, it's just not the same, is it?
Yeah, it's nice, but like there's something about having that cold pint, especially like this hoppy pale ale on tap. It tastes just slightly different, like it just tastes a bit fresher, and it's really nice on tap.
So what's next then? What's Steve planning to brew next? Any ideas for anything else? You've got your range, but what does the future hold?
Well, I think what we've got lined up, at least as a preliminary plan, is sort of a summer or autumn special. So we can use that as a vehicle just to try out some new things. So hopefully adding some fruit in as well. So just a twist on either a pale ale or a wheat ale. And then also I think just trying the darker side, so going down the porter or stout route, because a lot of people have tried their hand at an alcohol-free stout, but it can be quite difficult to get that kind of full body that you expect. And especially if you're trying to cater for a vegan market as well, not being able to use things like lactose. So it's a technical challenge, but it's definitely worthwhile, and we'll definitely give it a go.
Yeah. So are your beers vegan then? Are they all vegan? What's the
That's right. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Okay. Excellent. Becky, you were going to share some photos with us, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. You want me to share screen?
I think it's really, really interesting to see a little bit of what we're talking about.
It's just a few pictures of the brewery. I'll see if I can get the screen sharing here.
Someone said the Star of Kings in King's Cross. They saw it on.
It was on tap there.
Yeah, amazing. I think I saw it in Hackney as well. Is it the Cock Tavern in Hackney? Is that the one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They've had it as well.
We had it on at the Rake in Borough Market as well, so that was quite good. Yeah, that was kind of top of the list, I think, which was quite nice.
It's so good that these amazing pubs are taking it and have an interest in it.
Yeah, it's been really good. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah, we're on. Yeah.
Okay. So as I said, it was me and my brother who set up the brewery for our dad with another business partner, and it's now my brother-in-law Andrew in that picture who runs it with me.
Okay.
This is us in the brewery.
Nice.
Those are our tanks. As you can see, we're on this industrial estate, but we've got a nice little setup. We've got 3 FVs, which are 2,000 litres, so not like huge brewery, but good capacity. And it means that we can really play around with our own styles as well. So we can kind of do a lot of like tests and like test brews and things, and because we're doing everything in house, so it really gives us that kind of space to be innovative and try and create new things. Also, as you can see, it's just like a normal brewery. We don't have anything that's totally different. We do.
I think going back to what you were saying about the brewery tour and having people in there, one of the best things about that was them being able to get their hands on the the real raw ingredients. So being able to pass around the malt and the hops, especially the malt, because you can just pass that around and sort of try it like cereal, and everyone gets to sort of, you get to bite through some Maris Otter malt, which is, or pale ale malt, which makes up most of the beers that people are drinking. And then they get to try Crystal, and you really get the kind of toffee and biscuity flavors from those, So it's great to have people on site so you can kind of make the concept less alien to them. They really see what goes in. And our whole ethos is making beers that are, we're not trying to cut corners or create shortcuts. It's just brewing in a similar way as possible as you can to a full strength beer. so that people can enjoy it the same as they would that.
I think as well, like the people who came for the brewery tour, they got to taste some beer straight from the tank, and there's something really nice about tasting it straight from the tank, because obviously being alcohol free, you have to sterilize the beer in some way, because alcohol usually acts as a preservative. So if you've got an alcoholic beer, you can have it unfiltered and unpasteurized. But for us, it's a bit risky to have it unfiltered and unpasteurized. So we have to do one or the other. But when you have it straight from the tank, it's totally fresh. It's not been filtered or anything. And so, yeah, you can really taste all the flavors then. And it's really nice.
Making me jealous now. I think everyone's sat at home and locked down, and everyone wants to be at your brewery.
Yeah, hopefully once everyone's allowed back out, we can have another open day. And
yeah, definitely. Like I said at the start, I think for me and a lot of people, it's the thing. Like everything else seems to be catered for. Like all the range of beers, the experimentation, the flavors, the branding is all as good as craft beer, but the one thing you miss out on is that experience of getting to go to a brewery. So
yeah.
Let's hope when this is over we can all come down and visit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
So, yeah, these are the other beers in our range. As you can see, like all the bright colours and yeah, it's just nice to have a few different options. So.
That looks amazing.
That was our kombucha beer as well. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, amazing. All the new branding. Mm-hmm. So doing the 0.0, what's the reason for that rather than? Is there a reason for having a 0.0 and having 0.5?
Yeah, there is. I think that for me, I prefer the 0.5s, and I don't think that. I find it a comfortable level of alcohol. Like I feel perfectly happy to drink 0.5 and still get in the car and drive. Likewise with my dad, who gave up alcohol, 0.5 is his limit. So he feels comfortable drinking 0.5. But there are a lot of people out there who still don't feel comfortable. And I don't know whether it's a sort of misconception, or some people have, specific like health conditions or specific religion that means that they don't want a drink that's even got 0.5% alcohol. Yeah. So our 0.0s they do sell really well. They're really popular, and it's mostly because there is a contingent of people that do really want an absolute 0% alcohol. Yeah. And there are still there are a lot of beers out there, but they're mostly lagers. Yeah. There aren't really many craft beers that are 0.0. And it's because it is difficult to do. I think just having that little wiggle room of an extra 0.5% does give you a lot more space to use normal brewing techniques and brew a traditional beer, whereas having absolute 0%, you kind of have to be a lot more creative, I think, and it does give a slightly different flavor profile. But like I said, there are some people who, like really for them that 0.0 is really important. Yeah. And are they the conversations that you're having with your customers, and is one more popular than the other, or is it? Yeah, I think that our lager and the hoppy pale ale are the two best-selling beers. Mm-hmm. Lager, our Hell's lager is I think there's a lot of alcohol-free lagers, but there's not that many that are proper craft lagers. Okay. So I think that our alcohol-free Hell's lager is won Great Taste Award. It's had really good reviews as being one of the best alcohol-free beers out there. So I think that sort of is, and lager's one of the most popular styles of beer anyway. So I think that's kind of one of the reasons that sells really well. And then the hoppy pale ale is just a really classic, sessionable beer that it's really moreish and just delicious and fresh. So so I think that those two are the most popular. And as I said, I do think that 0.5% gives you more, a bit more of an edge really, and a bit more body. Yeah. What Steve, when it comes to the brewing side of it, without getting into the too much of the details, but what is the kind of difference there between when you're brewing a beer to 0.0 and a 0.5?
I guess the 0% is a blended beer, so it doesn't involve the fermentation that we would normally use in a 0.5%. So sort of blended product. And I think, like Becky says, there is a market for that, and it is halal as well. So it's very useful to be able to offer something for everyone. You know, so we've got something for the organic market, something for people who you know, by choice they cannot drink these things. But with us, I think our like Becky says again, is when we're pushing the envelope a little bit, or wanting to try to ape certain beer styles and experiment, 0.5% is our vehicle, really. And I think that's where you'll see more of our beers coming from, because that's where we are able to use fermentation of an ale yeast and push it to the max to still get that fermentation flavour, to still give you the beer that has been brewed by us and with all the key ingredients that you would expect from a pale ale or anything that we're doing.
Yeah. Oh, well, fantastic. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Everyone, a couple of people have said about wanting to get to the brewery. So all this talk, we'll have to make sure we'll get down there. Thank you so much for joining, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, good luck with everything. Good luck with your new beers and with the current range.
Thank you.
Really exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Coming up in a minute, we're going to have the guys from Drop Bear in Wales. So we've got Sarah and Joel from there, and then after that we've got Lucky Saint, Luke from Lucky Saint coming. So we've got an action-packed afternoon with a couple more. So thanks very much, guys, and yeah, we'll all be down to visit soon. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bye.